Hello fellas, French Fry Warriors present to go over Record of Ragnarok chapter 105. A fast recap of the previous chapter will start as usual, so if you want to skip the recap, then jump to this time on the screen or click the time code in the description. Last time on Record of Ragnarok, Loki was shot in the head and all his clones began to fade, returning to his ring. The audience on both sides watched in shock as to what had just happened as Simo continued to watch Loki's lifeless body. But suddenly, another Loki appeared not too far from Simo, behind a tree. This was the real Loki, ready to strike, while the one who had been shot was merely a clone. When did this clone appear? While Loki was conjuring his clone army amidst the swirling black smoke, he secretly created a special clone of himself. He handed it his ring and sent it to fight Simo. What followed was everything we've seen in the last few chapters. Meanwhile, the real Loki had hidden himself on the battlefield. He achieved all this using 3 other secret abilities he had yet to reveal. First is Vedrung, that allows Loki to create a clone of himself equal to his own power. Second is New Hamar, granting all clones and Loki shared vision and consciousness. And the last ability, Ender Leafer, allows Loki to essentially teleport to any clone. All of these abilities in conjunction with the battlefield brought Loki closer to Simo. However, Loki miscalculated Simo's abilities and realized that Brunhilde had chosen a formidable warrior, and his clone won't be enough, so he has to do it with his own hands. While Simo feels the toll of his power, Loki can see that now is his best chance to strike and kill him, but he struggles to come up with a plan. He doesn't have much resources left and desperately continues to think until an idea comes to his mind. He places his hands on the ground and tells Brunhild to watch him bet his life on this next move. During intense situations, gods and humans are able to evolve and adapt instantaneously, surpassing their limits, and due to this phenomena, the strongest trickster in Valhalla had created the greatest trap of his life. A figure approaches Simo from behind as he turns around and sees that a Heracles clone is charging at him. The crowd gasps, shocked that a clone was still alive, meaning Loki might still be around. But Simo wastes no time and fires another shot in half a second. The bullet pierces the clone's heart, dropping it instantly. Then 2 more figures appeared behind Simo, being Loki and Thor. The gods cheer to see Loki still alive as the 2 rush towards Simo from behind. As all this unfolds, we see that the fallen Heracles clone is actually the real Loki still alive and claims he will be the one to kill Simo, as his greatest trick is in motion. With this being Loki's final act, will Simo be able to see through his illusion and deliver the final blow? Or will the valiant sniper be overwhelmed by the cunning jester of the gods? This chapter will feature the conclusion of round 11, and it kicks off with Jack sipping tea and reflecting on how things ended between Simo and Loki. Jack acknowledges that Loki's plot was truly devilish. Using his clone from the very beginning, Loki fooled everyone, even Jack himself, despite his special eye. If Loki's technique had only copied appearance, then Jack would have seen right through the illusion. However, Loki's copy technique was so advanced that it even had the same color as the original, making it a terrifying skill that would leave Jack helpless. The results of Loki versus Simo shook Jack's heart to his core as he saw a battle with schemes stacked upon schemes with an intersection of love and resolve. The last 7.49 seconds were legendary, showcasing the fusion of humanity and God being the highest form of art. We are shown a timer highlighting the last moments of the battle as the Loki and Thor clones continue to rush Simo, picking up from the last chapter. Loki, disguised as Heracles, lays there stating he knew Simo could do it, that only he could hit vitals so accurately, and because of that, Loki's trick will be complete. Only 5 milliseconds have passed and we are given a flashback on Loki's plan. After the death of Loki's clone, which fooled everyone into thinking he's dead, Loki had disguised himself as a Heracles copy and proceeded to rush towards Simo. Simo was guaranteed to pierce vitals. However, whether he aimed for the heart or the brain, Loki's real vitals were not in the same place as the Heracles clone. Loki took this risk knowing that even if the bullet was off by millimeters, then it would have spelt death for him. All this was possible due to Loki's faith in Simo's ability. Before transforming into Heracles, he released other clones in the form of a haze underground, unbeknownst to Simo, waiting to be triggered. These were the other Loki and Thor clones we saw last chapter 2, and Loki's plot continues from there. The plan was as the copies closed in on Simo, he would turn to defend himself, but during that moment, the real Loki would emerge from the Heracles clone and slice his head off in one swift blow. Loki believed this match gave birth to his greatest trick yet. Only 1 second has passed when Loki admits that Simo is the strongest person he's faced. Meanwhile, the bird from earlier was actually one of Loki's creations, watching from above, allowing Loki to see everything unfolding. His plan is complete as he claims that he is not the one dying here, but instead, it's Simo, as he waits for him to turn around. About 3 seconds pass now, and Simo, unfazed, reloads his gun, keeping his sights on the Heracles body. Loki is stunned, questioning why is Simo still aiming at him. Ares also wonders why is he planning to shoot the corpse again, despite Loki rushing him from behind. Almost 5 seconds has passed, with Loki wondering, did Simo notice his trick? And if he did, how is he able to tell? What did Loki miss? Simo calls upon his pancreas and states that he will never mistake the pain of taking a life. Over 5 seconds now, Simo slightly pulls the trigger, causing Loki to panic, while ironically calling him a monster. As a crow flies overhead, Loki begins to teleport to the bird's location in the sky, and at this point, 6 seconds has passed. Loki draws his blade, confident he can go further, swinging his blade at Simo, yelling at him to die. Now at 7.45, Simo fires a bullet called Ukan Vasara, or Afterglow of the Heavens, whichever you prefer. It scrapes the side of Loki's blade and closes in on his head. 7.47, the bullet begins to make contact with Loki's head, and as the bullet begins to break his skin, his thoughts drift to Brynhild. Ever since she smiled at him, and every time since then, made Loki so happy. He thanks her. He states his final thoughts as Brynhild watches in shock as the bullet finally headshots the real Loki, with his blade only being able to slash the side of his face. As the headshot lands, he had always wanted to tell Brynhild that he loves her. 7.49, Loki falls to the ground, stunning all the gods. Simo takes a knee, and Loki's body and soul begins to crumble, sending him to Niflheim. Simo, the greatest sniper in human history, had renewed his kill count to now 543 as he collapsed to the ground, feeling that pain in his heart for taking another life. Heimdall announces the winner of Ragnarok Round 11 is humanity's greatest sniper, Simo Hauha. And we close this chapter off seeing Brynhild shedding tears for Loki's death. Well, seems I was wrong about the outcome of this match because my boy Loki just lost and was for real headshotted. Let me first address that I don't really believe that this is another fake out death from Loki's. Sorry fellas, that sounds like some coke, and y'all know me already. I was preaching Team Loki before Loki stepped onto the field, but even then I've accepted that Loki is truly gone at this point. I saw a number of people saying Loki was dumb for the way how he conducted things, but honestly there's not much he could have done. His best chance was to maybe wait till Simo actually fired the bullet rather than before, but Seema's bullet is most likely faster than Loki's timing that it takes to channel the teleport to another clone as a gate. So in reality, Seema had Loki cornered. Him yelling die at Seema was a dumbass move on his part, but I don't think him being silent would have helped him either way. Overall though, I am very content with the way Loki fought. I wish we saw a little bit more from him, but we can't have everything. This match was also really cool as well. Pretty short, but still done well. As for Seema, I believe he's alive and just collapsed from exhaustion, plus his organs being sacrificed. I really can't wait to see Thor's reaction though to Loki's death, because we aren't really too sure how good Thor and Loki's relationship is, so hopefully we get some insight on his thoughts and feelings. I know Odin is gonna be pissed that the humans took the lead again. Same with the other gods. I'm somewhat surprised that Brunhild would actually cry for Loki. Not saying that's a bad thing, but for a dude who basically got her husband arrested, never apologized for what he did, she's very forgiving to shed some tears for his death. Speaking of his death, I now realize that it's beneficial that Loki actually died here, because originally I thought the dude was maybe capable of changing and realizing everything he did was messed up, but no, his last words was him regretting not saying his feelings. No apology, no self-reflection on how she might have felt. All he cared about in the end was his selfish desire to be the only one to make her smile. Straight toxic love there. He may have evolved his strategy, but he never evolved mentally or emotionally, leading to his defeat. Who knows, maybe if Loki was more composed, he might have stood a better chance, because notice how Seema never panicked and always made the right call, while Loki began to fold when a trick didn't go exactly as he planned. Either way, Seema clutched it, and now humanity's back in the lead with one more win to go, which means that Anubis might be more likely to win if he's going next. Let me know in the comments below who you think will be fighting next for both sides. Not gonna lie, when Loki thought he had Seema right where he wanted him and Seema reloaded and stood his ground, was fucking fire. Turn around, turn around. Yeah, I'm gonna laugh if he just blasts Loki in his face right now. 3 seconds. Oh my gosh. Oh no, he's not falling for it. Oh no, he's not falling for it. I could just feel the anxiety hit Loki with his stomach dropping. I will say, I'm not 100% sure about Seema detecting that he didn't kill Loki. Like, did he just sense that he felt no pain after that shot and knew something was wrong? I don't know. Someone provide me some clarification in the comments below, please. And another off-side topic, now that humans are 1 win basically from salvation, I wonder what they're gonna do about the extra human that we have, because technically there's still Nostradamus, Siegfried, and Rasputin. That's 3 humans, and technically on the god side they just have Anubis and Odin, so I wonder how they're gonna resolve that. Yeah, let's start a discussion about that as well. That one I have to think about for a bit. Anyway, last 2 things are, I find it hilarious that Loki called Seema a monster. Like, nigga! You literally separated a couple and got the husband put behind bars, all to keep Brunhild to yourself. Brother, you are the monster. At the very least, we also got confirmation that Loki would cook Jack, as even Jack's special eye couldn't see through Loki's deception. Now I know a lot of people like to hype Jack with London and he's like the god of gods, but even with that, I do believe Loki would win in the end. However, I would still love to see a battle between those two, as their IQ would definitely be put to the test. Anyway, that's all I have for today. This was a good round to read with you all. Like and subscribe for more content like this. I'll catch y'all later. Stay safe and be good people. Peace.